from Geneva is Reed Brody, who has prosecuted war crimes in the past, member of the International Commission of Jurists. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
You're welcome.
It's not unfamiliar since the beginning of October the 7th. It depends what perspective you're coming from in the last minutes. We've had the Israeli Prime Minister saying Israel is, quote, fighting Hamas's genocide. There's the rhetoric and there are the facts. Your thoughts on this case?
Well, for 3 months, we've been watching this going on. We've been watching the carnage, the destruction, the death. And I think many people have been asking, where is the law? And today, the law took center stage. In our brutish and lawless world, I think South Africa deserves a lot of credit for focusing on the law. I think Israel also deserves credit for engaging with the court. But as an international lawyer, my first reaction is, my God, this is amazing. The highest court of the United Nations is going to inject law into this dispute, and obviously, the presentations by South Africa were very powerful. The facts that we have all seen, 23,000 dead, prohibition, humanitarian aid limited, hospitals, all that. The facts are very clear. The question now is whether or not there's a plausible case for genocide. And particularly the question today and tomorrow is what provisional measures the court can and will adopt.
So let me read one of the statements that was made by the prosecution. We'll be hearing the defense on Friday. Prosecution saying this court has the benefit of the past 13 weeks of evidence that shows uncontrovertibly a pattern of conduct and related intention that justifies a plausible claim of genocidal acts. Related intention, does that stand up in a court of law?
Well, obviously, in order to show that something is genocide, that it's more than just mass killings, that it's more than war crimes, that it's more than crimes against humanity, you have to show that there has been an intention to destroy an ethnic, racial, national, religious group in whole or in part as such. And South Africa says that Israel is seeking to destroy the Palestinians of Gaza. And they presented in court today all the statements by Prime Minister Netanyahu and others that appear to call for the destruction not of Hamas, not of the armed wing of Hamas, but of the Palestinian people. Now, Israel, I assume tomorrow, will say, and in addition, they showed how those statements were translated into, they showed videos of soldiers repeating the statements made by Israeli politicians, repeating genocidal statements. Now, presumably tomorrow, Israel is going to say, well, look, this is hot air by certain politicians. That's not the intention of the state. We are fighting against Hamas. If we had a genocidal intention, we wouldn't be giving warnings. We wouldn't be telling people to move from one area to another. But the plausible, the court has to decide in this instance whether genocide is a plausible explanation for this. And I think Israel is going to have a very tough time showing, in particular, another aspect is that is incitement to genocide. As many Israelis themselves have said, Israel has tolerated its politicians using genocidal statements. So I think Israel is going to have a very tough time tomorrow defending on the law.
One quick question for you, Reed Brody: is justice blind in this case, or is this political? Are these judges like I don't know, the judges at a figure skating competition where the Russian will give more points to their favorite athlete?
Obviously, I mean, we've seen in the past that Russian judges, Chinese judges, American judges often come up with different results. But this is the highest court. Unlike the International Criminal Court, Israel is a party to the ICC, to the International Court of Justice. These are the top judges in the world. It's a very conservative, typically a conservative court. I would expect that they will order preliminary measures. I think the bar is very high to order, for instance, an entire ceasefire, but they certainly could order Israel to refrain from certain activities, to allow humanitarian assistance, to allow fact-finding missions in, to allow the International Criminal Court to investigate. I would expect a very legitimate, reasoned decision that is going to put a lot of pressure, not just on Israel, but also on states that are supplying Israel with arms and the ability to carry out these military operations and these war crimes.
First and foremost being, I guess in this instance, the United States. Brody, many thanks for joining us from Geneva.
You're quite welcome.